Welcome to Court Explainer over the festivity seasons, episode 2, where we are looking at the Constitution of Kenya, what actually is contained in the Constitution of Kenya. Today's episode, we'll be looking at chapter 1 of the Constitution of Kenya, and in chapter 1 of the Constitution of Kenya, we are looking at the following. What does chapter 1 of the Constitution say? It says in Article 1, the sovereignty of the people. Who are the sovereign people? When we talk about sovereignty, is President Ruto the sovereign? Who is the sovereign? Is Parliament the sovereign? Is the military the sovereign? Who is the absolute power? That's what we call the sovereignty. And in Article 1, it says, all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with this Constitution. We are the sovereign. So today you understand, Ruto is not the sovereign. Uhuru was not the sovereign. We, the people, are the sovereign. And we will exercise our power under the Constitution of Kenya. In Article 2, what Raila Odinga used always to say is that the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. The people can exercise power directly. In the year 2027, when we shall be voting, we shall be exercising our power directly. That is what this says. When we vote, we are exercising power directly. 2, we can exercise power through elected leaders. It goes on to say, the sovereign power of the people under this Constitution can be delegated to state organs. So it is the people and the Constitution that creates the following organs: Parliament, the executive, and the judiciary. So the 3 arms of government are created by people. These are your organs. You create them and you give them power. And the people who sit in Parliament are your employees. People who are called the president, the cabinet, the military, all these are our employees. And lastly, the judiciary, the chief justice, the judges, and all these people. So, under Article 1, you have now known very clearly that you are the supreme person of the law. Article 2 of the Constitution talks about the supremacy of the Constitution. That this Constitution that we have here today is supreme. What does it mean? The supremacy of the Constitution means, 1, that it is the supreme law of the law. 2, any law that tries to challenge this Constitution is null and void. 3, anybody in government, anybody in judiciary, in Parliament, in the executive, who will exercise power outside this Constitution, that power, that act is illegal. 3rd, the validity of this Constitution. Do you know you can never challenge this Constitution? You can never take it to court. You can never challenge it. It says the validity or legality of this Constitution is not subject to challenge by or before any court or any other state organ. So you can never challenge this Constitution. 4, any law that is inconsistent with this Constitution is null and void. You have seen sometimes the president Parliament passes laws. Those laws, the president assents them. Then you see activists, Sheria Mtaani, Umtata, the Law Society of Kenya, going to court that this law is unconstitutional. For example, the Cybercrime Amendment Act has been challenged that it is unconstitutional. That law is found in Article 4 of the Constitution, which says any law that is inconsistent with this Constitution shall be declared null and void. So every time you've seen courts declaring provisions of certain sections of the law to be inconsistent, they do that under Article 4 of the Constitution. In Article 5, it says the laws Kenyans have signed, for example, treaties, the UNICEF Treaty, the COMESA Treaty, the East African Community Treaty, all those treaties Kenya has signed form part and parcel of the law. You remember the treaty Kenya signed of extradition of criminals who commit an offense in Kenya. We know of a British soldier who has now been arrested and is being extradited back to Kenya because under Article 5, the laws, international laws, form part and parcel of the Kenyan law. And that, then we have the last part on Section 3, the defense of this Constitution. Who do you think is supposed to defend this Constitution? Who? The Constitution in Article 3 says, every person has an obligation to respect, uphold, and defend this Constitution. So it is not true that it is William Ruto who is supposed to defend the Constitution. You, Vivian, you, Cyrus, you, Danstan Omari, you, Nyambura, you, everybody are mandated under Article 3 to defend this Constitution. What does this mean? That is why you see any violation that has happened, even if it is not a violation against you, anybody can walk to court and say a constitutional article has been violated, and the court will listen to you. Originally, there was what was called a local standard, where you cannot go to court because you asked, and how does this thing affect you as a person? What have you lost to yourself? Nothing. Walk away. Today, under Article 3, we have now made it mandatory that everybody has a duty to defend the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And number 2, Article 3(2), can you form a government outside this Constitution? In 1982, many of the Gen Zs were not born. In 1982, there was a coup attempt. The Kenya Air Force tried to overthrow the lawfully elected government of President Moi. They overthrew the government, but later the KDF soldiers overran them and the coup was suppressed. Can that now be allowed in this country? In Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni came to power through a coup. In Burundi, the same. In Rwanda, the same. In very many West African countries, the coups are there. In Zaire, in Congo. But what about in Kenya? Under Article 3(2), any attempt to establish a government otherwise in compliance with this Constitution is null and void. Our government can only be created through the ballot. So anybody who wants to form a government, today you know, in 2027, go contest to form a government. But you cannot go carrying guns, you cannot go carrying weapons, you cannot go to the forest to overthrow a lawfully instituted government of the Republic of Kenya. That marks the second phase of the constitutional episode 2 that has dealt with Article 1, Article 2, Article 3 of the Constitution. We are now done with Chapter 1. We are now going to Chapter 2 of the Constitution in the next episode. Enjoy your Christmas holiday. Enjoy your Happy New Year. And may God shower you with a lot of blessings in this festive season. Wakili Danstan Omari from Court Helicopter Explainer. Thank you very much.